Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor. Hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy. CBS Sports came out with a list. Kim O'Reilly. No, that was Kim that put the picture together. Actually, Cody Benjamin is the one who wrote the story. And it ranks the NFL quarterbacks. It's titled 2024 NFL Quarterback Power Rankings. Brock Purdy, Jordan Love cracked top 10 in first post-draft pecking order. Now, I want to read how they suggest they're laying this out. It's not exactly the most crystal clear explanation, but I'll just read what they said here as they rank the quarterbacks 1 through 32. It said, which ones are the best of the best as we stand here today approaching the new year, and which ones could be in for trouble? All quarterbacks are partly a product of their situations, but this is how we'd sort today's signal callers right now. These power rankings are obviously subject to drastic change once games actually get underway, as they're built to be based on more the current standing than the bigger picture. I don't really know what that means, but I can read the rankings. And you start with Patrick Mahomes, and I'll quite frankly not have a big problem with that. I think he's pretty good. Number 2 is Brock Purdy, and I think that's dumb. If you're telling me that you're definitely putting in the external factors and the organization and the pieces around him, then yeah, Brock Purdy's team's pretty good. But I don't think that I'd put him above Josh Allen or Joe Burrow, who were the next two on the list. Certainly not Lamar Jackson, who's 6 on this list. DJ Stroud cracks the top 5. Got Jalen Hurts at 7, Dak Prescott at 8. I think the Brock Purdy thing is ridiculous, but it's not the most ridiculous thing I've seen on this board. That is the ranking of Derek Carr here. Now, I'm not Derek Carr's biggest defender. I don't think this station has been the biggest defender of Derek Carr. Matt's got an entire bit based on the Emperor of Empty Yards. And I think there were times last year where Derek Carr didn't necessarily play great football. Clearly, they struggled in the red zone some. Clearly, there were some issues with some team chemistry at times. I don't think the Saints offense was overly creative. The offensive line was atrocious. They couldn't run the ball. It was everything Brock Purdy has in San Francisco, Derek Carr struggled with mightily in New Orleans. And then you toss in the injury, and it was even worse. So was he great last year? No. Is his ranking of number 26 on this list absolutely absurd? It is. Derek Carr is not the 26th best quarterback in the NFL. Better put, there are not 25 NFL quarterbacks better than Derek Carr. So I start to look at, when you say that, you realize it's like when you look at an all-conference team and there's a guy that's off it, you got to go, well, he should be on it. Well, to put him on the all-conference team, you've got to take someone off of it. So when I say that Derek Carr is not the 26th best quarterback, you've got to start looking at guys in front of him and go, well, that's dumb. And I'll start doing that now. J.J. McCarthy is 25th. The guy who, in one of the biggest games of the year, was asked not to throw the football for an entire half against Penn State, is better than Derek Carr? He's never taken a snap. He probably hasn't even been assigned a number yet. That is ludicrous to put J.J. McCarthy ahead of Derek Carr. Right ahead of J.J. McCarthy here, in the number 24 spot, is Anthony Richardson. Would you like me to read out Anthony Richardson's career achievements in the NFL? He started 4 games. He's thrown a completion percentage of 59%. He's thrown for an average of 144 yards in those 4 games, 3 touchdowns and 1 pick. Are we talking about playing quarterback, or are we talking about a 40-yard dash? Anthony Richardson wasn't even that good at Florida. He runs fast. He can throw it far. He made a couple of highlight reel plays last year in his 4 games. Give me a break that guy is better right now than Derek Carr. Caleb Williams is in front of him. I don't believe that, but we'll leave it. He's the first pick in the draft. Will Levis is at 22. Will Levis played 9 games last year for Tennessee. He threw for an average of 200 yards per game. He threw 8 touchdowns and 4 picks. Huh? He wasn't that good at Kentucky. And he's 4 spots ahead of Derek Carr. 4 spots ahead of the guy who in his NFL career has thrown for 4,000 yards. 4 different times. He's thrown 242 touchdowns. He's made Pro Bowls. Again, the point of this is not to tell you that Derek Carr is in the top 5. I find it very hard to believe there is one single general manager and head coach in the entire league that would take J.J. McCarthy this year over Derek Carr. At least with Derek Carr, you're certain, based on 11 years of data, that he is going to throw for 3,700 yards and 23 touchdowns. Like, it is a non-negotiable. He does it every year. Now, some years he throws for 4,800. Some years he throws for 3,500. But he's going to throw for a ton of yards and a lot of touchdowns and knows how to function in offense. J.J. McCarthy might be out of the league in 3 years. He might be in the Pro Bowl. He might win a Super Bowl. We don't know. Michigan told him to keep handing off. Throw checkdowns. Anthony freaking Richardson, give me a break. This is not a competition to see what quarterback can run an 80-yard touchdown. It's actually playing the position, which Anthony Richardson has done for exactly 1 month of his entire life. Derek Carr's done it for 1 decade. This is a ludicrous list to me, and I realize that Matt, again, has an entire bit judged around talk radio guys screaming about a list. But can we take ourselves seriously for 2 seconds here? What even suggests that Kyler Murray, who's 6 spots ahead of Derek Carr, deserves that spot? Again, because he runs fast? He was a baseball player at one point? Derek Carr is firmly a top 20 quarterback in the NFL.
You just look at the stats last year. I know he did not have a good season last year.
No.
But he was still 10th in passing touchdowns, and he was 10th in passer rating.
And he played a month with broken ribs. Like, they're still throwing a little bit of shade on a couple of guys who have been around for a little bit. You've got Gardner Minshew back there in the back at 29. Bryce Young, with 1 year under his belt, is at 31. Can you guess who they think the worst quarterback is on this list? Starter in the NFL. I've already rattled off quite a few.
No, I actually just looked at the list, so I saw it. But it is
Malik Neighbors' new guy.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones.
Which is kind of crazy because he had a very bad season last year, but the year before that, he was pretty solid. So to me, it's crazy to have him below all of these other rookies that are having him, and Bryce Young. And it's crazy.
To me, like, because if I just take a group of 3, because Derek Carr is 26. If I take 25, 26, 27 and put him in the middle, you've grouped him with J.J. McCarthy and Jacoby Brissett. Like, that's absurd. Like, we've seen really bad quarterbacks go out there and just absolutely stink it up, absolutely cannot play. And they end up flushing out. Derek Carr is perfectly solid. As I've said many times, baseball has that stat, wins above replacement. And it means, like, how much better are you based on, like, the borderline of the league? And I believe Derek Carr is, like, the poster child for that. He's Ryan Tannehill. He's Derek Carr. Like, it's right in the middle. There's always going to be 10 guys worse. There's always going to be 10 or 12 guys, 15 guys better. But he's right there in the middle of what you want it to be. He's not overwhelmed. He can make decisions. He can call the offense. I just think it's ridiculous that CBS Sports has determined that Derek Carr is the 26th best quarterback in the NFL. Again, I'm not trying to throw a celebration that the Saints have Derek Carr under center.
I think people are going to. Yeah,
absurd.
I think people are going to listen to this and think that we're trying to praise Derek Carr as being a really good quarterback. It's not that. It's just that he's not that bad.
He's just better than J.J. McCarthy. I don't know what else to tell you there. Hey, it's on. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button. Leave your comments in the section below. And hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.